Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
The Porcupine with Adam Nutter.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Porcupine. It's been a few weeks. I'm a busy guy. I've been out and about doing shit. It's important to me and only me. And I've been doing no good for the community. But I've been busy, but I'm back. We're here. We're here. Thank you for the tuning in for every episode. I think episode 53 of the Porcupine. I am Adam Nutter. What's up? It's gonna be a fun episode today. But real quick before you get into that, just go follow my shit at Adam Nutter on all the social media stuff. Go listen to Cult of Us, youtube.com/Cult of Us. Go buy a shirt, wearing it, boom. Go buy a Porcupine shirt, cut the sleeves off yourself like a true Adam Nutter fan, and then you have your own fucking true Adam Nutter Porcupine shirt. Droptent.com/store for all that stuff. And then for any upcoming shows I have, the next one I only really give a shit about September 10th at the Pop-In, Chalfont, Pennsylvania. Coming out to that, tickets, droptent.com/events. And then I'll be in Orlando, October 20th to 23rd at their version of Pork Fest, minus the weird naked adult orgy that apparently happens at Pork Fest. So that's a thing. Not psyched about that. But in Orlando, I don't think that's going to be a thing. So no weird orgy in Orlando, as far as I know. So come out to that. I don't know when tickets will be available, but I'll put them on the site when they are. All right. Guys, my guests for today, two very opposite friends of mine, two very ends of the political spectrum and on life spectrum, I think. Give it up for the founder of Don't Tread on Philly and now the Don't Tread on Philly podcast, I guess you could say. My man, Torren Danowski. What's up, brother bear?
What's going on, man?
And then, of course, from just, I guess he does the Liberty review, kind of half the Liberty Review podcast now with Tyler Janke, kind of. Mr. Andy Mane, how are you, sir?
I'm Adam Nutter. Please buy my porcupine shirt. I'm going to be coming out with two trans porcupines butt fucking each other here soon. And I got a show in Alaska and in Antarctica coming up. Check it out. Follow me on all my shit.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I can help. I know the help plugs I could get.
sounds about right.
Also,
I've actually got a show in the safari coming up, and I'm going to choke out a cheetah.
I'll fucking kill that cheetah. Also, I'd love to do a show in Alaska. That'd be sick. That'd be fucking awesome.
They need it.
They do need it. I'm sure there's like a few major cities in Alaska that would probably
define major. Yeah,
over 20,000 people.
Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, that's many. Over 10,000 people. 5?
I know there's a city where the entire city lives in one building. Maybe you could go do that one.
Isn't that in Greenland?
No, there's one in Alaska. I know that.
That's fucking cool. Is it
Megaton?
I have no idea. I don't know the name, but it sounds like a perfect place for an Adam Nutter a comedy show.
Does Judge Dredd patrol there? Like, where is that?
Eskimo Dredd.
Inuit Dread.
Oh, that's right. I can't say Eskimo anymore.
No, I just Inuit sounded funnier to say than Eskimo in that particular wording of that phrase. Inuit sounded funnier. Torren, you obviously started. Not obviously, you started the Don't Tread on Philly movement, and last time you were on the show was a while ago. This would be like before you even started, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was right as we were getting things going. We started up right after the vaccine mandates here in Philly, and we were just trying to make some noise. So, I was just begging for spots on podcasts, and you were one of the poor souls to give me an opportunity. So,
yeah, but now you're like turning into like a multimedia platform, almost like podcasting. Like I know we talk, a lot, not a lot, but like we've talked about it before behind closed doors and stuff like, and like your idea that you were giving me was a good idea, what you want to take it with. And I think, you'll explain it better, but your idea was essentially like a franchise for different cities. Like you want to franchise it out.
Yeah. So I'd love for Don't Tread on Philly or Don't Tread Media in general to be, some sort of portal into the liberty world, portal into the counterculture. There's so many different, sort of liberty countercultures all over, especially here in Philly. Most of them are connected. So I want it to be, a one-stop shop for people to come and get connected, find out what's going on. You know, if for some god awful reason they want to watch one of your shows, I'm going to advertise it and they're going to come. No, really, his shows are great. They're a great time. So, yeah, I'd love to like advertise, you know, Adam Nutter shows, or anytime anybody else is in town, any sort of cultural liberty thing. I want to be the one-stop shop to find it. And then, you know, from there, you know, would love to expand out beyond Philly. Talked to some people in Jersey. I've talked to some people in Delaware, talked to some people in Pittsburgh. It's just going to be a matter of finding the right people with money to kind of build the infrastructure. And I think we can make it happen.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That'd be wild. I mean, I know you're getting into it a lot with the fucking local Philly press about just like like vaccine mandate stuff and a lot of the lockdowns and all that shit. But I definitely think it helps just all the eyes on it. But it's weird, excuse me, seeing like the turn you're getting against like the, I guess, conservatives now coming after you for like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I posted something about how the atomic bomb droppings were immoral and war crimes, and it was like, well, the Japanese were immoral and we were righteous to do it. Like, I'm sorry, but baking a kid at however many thousands of degrees, an innocent child, is never the moral thing to do. And then I posted something about, you know, not being back the blue, and it kind of being the opposite of don't tread on me. And of course, we had people lose their minds over that, not being able to understand a nuanced point that I was making. Like, hey, I get that not every single officer is an asshole, and I'm not even going after individual instances here. I'm just saying, as an institution, that, you know, for the most part, they're just sort of the enforcement arm of some tyrannical assholes, and I'd rather not have that be the case. You know, if the government can do whatever they want and they have an enforcement arm that can do whatever it wants, that's a problem.
Sorry, I had to mute my mic. My dog was losing his shit for food. My wife was like, "You want to eat?" And he was like, "Yeah, I fucking want to eat." He's like, "That's the most thing I want to do right now," and also just bark as loud as I can. Yeah, I did want to get into the IRS thing later on, but Andy, you're again the complete opposite of Torren. You're just not in a bad way, just a different way. Just you're a guy who's like, Andy spent his last 2 days on Twitter just shaming e-thots.
I was going to say, Torren, if you need somebody to help you with your social media, I will come on and promote jihad and deny well-documented war crimes.
He's good for those.
I will take the even more controversial stance.
Yeah, no, but it is a funny thing that you like harped on the last day or two on Twitter, where it's like you have all these chicks on there who are not even so much like the liberty chicks, but just like the chicks who are like, I'm conservative. They're like, but also check out these fucking tits, right? You're like,
I wouldn't have said anything if they weren't constantly like trying to go after men. They're like, men need to be this way. It's like, okay, lady. Like, men really need to hear advice from you, 30-something-year-old childless unmarried woman.
Yeah, there is I don't know if it's, I mean, definitely it's in the left where like men tend to be weaker, obviously. So women could just kind of act and do whatever the fuck they want with like guys and but then you see like in the Liberty, especially like Liberty Twitter, and you start reading comments, and there's like a hard break in a way of thought where it's like either like you ride with this thought or you're on the other side. And like that thought, a lot of it is like, hey, be respectful to like, you know, your man or whatever. Like if you're in a relationship and don't post fucking whore pictures. And like you have other chicks being like, well, it's about like freedom and expressing yourself. It's like, it's not.
Just be a feminist. Just be a feminist. Put on the pussy hat and go march for Michelle Obama or whatever.
And that's what I said in the group chat. I was like, by the way, like, I'm not shitting on being a hot chick because, like, again, I would love to be a hot chick. Like, I would quit my life tomorrow to go be a hot chick.
Chicks.
I want to sit on a yacht and be like, this is fucking boring. Like, that's what I want to do that. Like, but I can't. I have a man face and body, and I gotta do man stuff, and I gotta like try to think with my brain and like provide that way. I can't just be like, right? Like, these are fucking cool. Like, fucking these so sweet. No. But like I would let, and that's what we were saying. Like I'm like, it's not like they're just doing that. They're not doing that. They're masquerading as this thing they're not. And then turning around this next tweet and then promoting, you know, like these values and you know, I'm like, fuck you. but I could just say fuck you in my brain. He just was like, no, I got to let you know about it.
Well, so much of their gimmick is just like a lot of women of modern times really have this personality trait almost where it's like they have to emasculate men because the roles have been inverted. So a man comes on there and says, no, I ain't having that. Shut up, whore. they lose their shit. It's like I could point out their hypocrisy of like saying, oh, I'm a traditional conservative libertarian and all this shit, but it's really meaningless. Like their whole shtick is just like, let me talk down to men, let me poke men, and then complain about why I don't have any good men in my life. Like you have all your attention comes from these simps, and it's sad. Like seeing a lot of the dudes in their replies that are like, I can't believe he was so disrespectful. Like, dude, grow a pair of balls and like you've never like, are you that intimidated by this woman on Twitter? Like, does she mean that much to you?
You're hitting a nerve because that's so like when you, especially that's why I love like just reading your replies. Like after you like, what was the one you sent out yesterday earlier where fuck, I can't remember now. But you just like devastated this chick. You just crushed her, you know, in hypocrisy. You're just calling out her hypocrisy. But then you read the comments, and it's just dudes I've never seen before, who, like no mutuals, and but you look at their profiles, and they're like liberty or liberty minded, and then you read their comments, and they're like, that was fucked up. You know, I think you should treat a lady, and you're like, she's not a lady.
Yeah,
like this isn't some fucking like woman you're respecting like her honor. Like she's some fucking whore on the internet. And you're like, and like she's not gonna fuck you, bro. Like that's what it is. It's like a lot of this like guys who like, and again, look at their profile pictures. It's all like fucking gross.
They don't pass
dudes.
the fist check.
Yeah, it's all like these gross dudes who aren't like slamming pussy in their thing in their normal life, and they're like this random Twitter chick who has 40,000 followers, 39.2 are dudes.
Yeah.
And they're all and they're all there for the same thing. They're like, maybe she'll fuck me because like liberty, or like we both like liberty. Yeah. And you're like, no, dude, she's grifting you. Not that she's like doesn't believe in liberty, but like she's grifting the autistic men in liberty movement for sure.
Yeah,
which is 90% of liberty movement.
And I don't blame them for doing that. Like it's
I don't
sad
either.
to see.
I blame the dudes.
To see all the dudes, yeah, that are like.
Yes, go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, they can't control themselves, and they give these women unnecessary attention. Like all the chicks I called out, I don't even follow them, and it was like their tweets are only brought to my attention by other people, and I'm just like, I'm not the kind of person who is going to be like reserved and be like, well, maybe we can rationalize this. I'm like, you're attacking all men on a daily basis. I'm going to say, hell no, fuck you. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. And this isn't like, I'm not talking about like all the liberty chicks. There's like a lot of cool who I've met doing comedy shows, like traveling. Who I meet on Twitter.
There's some good ones I like.
There's a lot of cool ones
and respect. Yeah,
yeah, but they're not. That's the saying. They're not being like that. They're not that chick. They're not. Being,
I would say I prefer the stripper with a cross tattoo than the like wannabe LARPing trad e-girl who's like posting whore pics. It's way more schizophrenic to me. It's like pick a lane and figure it out and stop trying to bash men to like get your point across. Just like be a woman.
Because those, especially like the men that they're usually bashing, are those exact simp men that they're grifting off of. It's not us.
Yeah, they're the ones who are already emasculated. Right. Because instead of realizing that they just need to man up and go build something, go make something, go do something with your life. If you go do something with your life, you're going to have the hot chicks all over you if you actually do something. But you're not going to get it by going and trying to defend somebody's honor on Twitter, for Christ's sake.
No, there's plenty of dudes I know who are not lookers, but like they're like interesting people. They do something cool and they have like a hot, and like, yeah, all right. I mean, I get it. Like from a intellectual standpoint, or like
you don't even have to do anything cool. You just have to have confidence. Like really, that's what it comes down to. You can like trick your brain into thinking, I got 5 whores waiting on me at the hot tub right now. Even if you don't, it's like, just live with that mentality. Like
it's true, dude. I say this all the time. I want to teach like for all the liberty dudes in the movement, just like how not to not fuck a chick one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Like all like, because like they're all so bad at it.
Yeah.
and they can't talk to other adult women. It's crazy. And I just want to be like, hey, man, first of all, try breathing normal. Start there and try making eye contact. The two simple things, those two simple things will take you further than you think. 3, the third rule is no matter where you are, even if we're at the LP National Convention, don't talk about politics. Talk about literally anything else. Dolphins, fairies, even football, dude. Football's sexier than talking about libertarian and Rothbard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild that I have to tell other adult men this in the party. Like, hey guys, you know how to get fucked? Don't do any of those things. Just be a normal person. Have you tried that?
Well, no chick is getting off on Rothbard, I can tell you that.
Yes. Well, they've probably never turned down a chick either. That's a big part of it. Like, if you can't turn it down, then it's just you're always going to be begging for it. It's always going to be up here to you instead of like, I'm a man. Like, it goes me as a man, you as a woman. And then Art, if we have a child, the child's underneath there.
Only because it's little, but once it gets old enough, then it passes you too if it's a boy.
Yeah, for sure. That's how hierarchies work.
I just lost every female follower. We just trashed them for 20 minutes. So women are dumb, right? Anyway, guys.
I don't speak for Adam. I speak for myself. So
no, seriously. There's a lot of valid points in that for real. Like, for real. Like, there is. Like I say this on stage sometimes. It's like a dumb throwaway point, but it's like OnlyFans chicks, right? They'll be like, this is art. I go, Starry Night is art. You're a whore. Like, stop trying to trick my brain into thinking like what you're doing is some sort of fucking classy. Like, it's not. You're just selling, which again, fine. Do you? I'm not going to stop you, but I'm not going to respect you.
Yeah. Like, people have more respect for like the ditch digger or the garbage man or the fucking mechanic. You know?
like that.
They actually do something.
Like, I'm sure you remember a month or two ago, the whole, again, because Liberty Twitter, there's a new controversy every other week of like what to argue about, and it's just a bunch of, again, autists arguing autistic shit to each other. And again, this is not to break off my own point as an autistic thing doing myself, but like guys like Ace Anarchist on Twitter and all, like, all they'll do is like they'll just argue philosophy all day.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know who that is either. So
you know who he is. But like, he'll argue like just philosophy on Twitter all. It's like you guys will sit here and just like be like, actually, hypothetically, it's like this means nothing. None of this means anything. Like, you're just arguing nonsense back and forth to other nonsense people online back and forth. Like, you got, but like they think they're at like this fucking high like Obi-Wan level of like philosophy. I'm like, you guys are fucking dorks arguing on Twitter, not changing anything in real life.
At least the communists could swing a hammer and a sickle.
Yeah, at least they're forced to do some work. You guys are just arguing bullshit, and it's not even that they're wrong with what they're saying. It's just like the
No, they are.
No, not all. Well, yeah, he is in one very. Yeah, I know he is. I'm broad brushing, not him. I mean, all these people in one group. I'm just saying, like, is that necessarily all the time what they're saying is wrong? Sometimes, like, yeah, it's totally true, right? But it's like, but you're just arguing bullshit and not applying it anywhere because you're no one.
Yeah.
Just like we are too. We're no one's also. That's my point. But like you are too. But like you think you're not because you have like followers on Twitter. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, it means nothing.
I don't think I'm anybody. Like, I fucking pick up people's garbage all day. Like, if you get bent out of shape about some shit I say to you on Twitter, then that's on you. Like, you let some dude across the country in a garbage truck probably tweet at you and get you fucking off your game.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in a position of power anyway. Then, like, some psychopath in a garbage truck is like, "Fucking kill yourself." Like, why do you care? Like, no, it's a great point. To get off the woman topic,
I will say back to something else. I've met some commies along the way gathering signatures. They've never swung a hammer or a sickle in all their lives.
No, not nowadays. not nowadays for sure.
They certainly don't want to work.
Well, I think it don't work at all. Yeah, no, they, dude, I'm over the hype online of commies when they're like threatening a revolution. And I'm like, have you guys looked at each other. Like I could
Yeah.
solo you, all of you. Like, what are you talking about?
Soy doesn't
pull up
help
a
the revolutions.
Pull up a DSA meeting. Let's live watch it. Yeah, DSA.
One of my favorite videos of all time is the footage from the it was Democratic Socialist, right? With that's what you're saying. You're at the
the
point of personal
DSA.
yeah. The point. You ever see this, Torren? The point of personal privilege thing.
No, I haven't.
All right. Well, hold on.
You're in for a treat.
I see. I can't pull up on YouTube. I got fucking. Is it on? Was it DSS? DCSA?
DSA, Democratic Socialist
DSA, right?
America.
DSA. Oh, this is gonna be hard to find, but
I don't want to be the reason your channel.
no, yeah. If I can't find it in the first few clicks, I'll leave it. All right, no, it is what it is. But essentially, it's this giant, it's Socialist of America meeting, like the convention, like we have, But
Oh yeah,
and it's just one guy up on the podium. And honestly, he's just trying to keep everything together because everyone in there is actually mentally ill.
Is this where we're getting the Lolberts from? That try
Yes.
to take over our conventions.
Yeah, they're
They
the
do
drift
tend
off.
to be leftists. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so in this convention, you have the dude at the podium being like, hey, let's just so you've been getting complaints from people have auditory issues about clapping. So instead of clapping, let's just do this with your hands. And then you have one guy being like, point of personal privilege. He's like, yeah, he's like, it's loud in here, so we could keep conversation to a dull roar because it's like that's like every
My
single
anxiety.
conversation.
Please don't say guys. Please don't use gendered pronouns. Like, it's too many fucking rules.
And then I just keep thinking, like, it takes us 3 days to do a convention with legitimate gripes. So I can only imagine these mentally ill people doing a convention take days, weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's done. But that does kind of lead me to the thing I want to talk about, which is this IRS thing. Which, did you guys see those pictures today?
Oh yeah,
I
the guy in the
saw
the guy in the wheelchair, like scared.
Yeah, I saw the
like,
ethnically
smiling.
ambiguous guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Is this real?
I hope so.
It's as real as Minnesota school district saying that they're going to fire white teachers first before black teachers when they're laying them off.
I saw that too.
It's all real.
Here, I'm just gonna pull it up real quick.
While you're looking for that, Adam, Torren, I was going to ask you. So, what's your organization is called? Don't Tread on Philly.
Yep, that's it. Don't Tread on Philly. At Don't Tread Philly on Twitter. Don'tTreadOnPhilly.com for the links and all that good stuff. So, yep.
What do y'all have like coming up? What's are you affiliated with the Libertarian Party or?
Yeah, so I'm a member of the LPPA. I'm on the board of directors.
Yes, sadly, we share that role together.
Yep. Both board reps. I'm involved with LP
Suckers.
Philly. Really, Don't Tread on Philly is supposed to be sort of a nonpartisan or maybe interpartisan organization, but the more and more people on the left and right piss me off, the more that goes by the wayside. So, we just do. I do podcasts. We do hangouts in Center City here in Philly every week, and that sort of.
Are you wanting to get into like political advocacy or like nonprofit stuff or any of that?
Yeah, so we get connected to different groups. I've gotten connected to tons of health freedom groups in the city, some school choice groups. I'm also the chair of the Issues Coalitions Committee for LPPA, so definitely involved in that. I'm also running. I announced last night on my podcast that I'm running for mayor here in Philly next year. So
Yeah,
we're going to be spewing some propaganda for the next 14 months. I'm sure
Adam, you're going to have to take this video down once he starts running.
No, I'm already screwed because I've got right-wing tattoos, so it doesn't matter. I'm already done. I've got runes on my arms.
Yeah,
that basically makes me a Nazi.
Yeah, people think that's a swastika. And it's like, oh, you guys don't have eyes. That's cool.
Yeah.
But here's here's the picture. Shit's wild, dude.
It's lovely.
Can you
Yeah.
click the pic? Yeah. Is that Chuck Schumer?
It does look like Chuck Schumer.
Is that our Air Force?
I really mean this. If you look at the 5 people in this picture, it's a handicapped dude who's laughing.
He's
And
got
then
on the
there's
Muhammad 11s.
4 Karens behind him. And I seriously mean this when I say this. I could take all their guns from them without them stopping me and kill them. I'm very serious. There's no way they could stop me. Like this is like the real thing that's eventually gonna happen. Is they're gonna go to some fucking ex-SEAL's house. He's like, this is your Independence Day. Or just like whatever. And he's gonna kill all of them. And they're like, we should stop doing this. That's what's gonna fucking happen. Like that's what's gonna eventually fucking happen.
I like it. I like the wheelchair guy's shoes. He's got the Muhammad 11s on. I don't know if you noticed that. The retro Muhammad 11s.
I really, if you notice this, in all these pictures, people are holding guns, smiling.
How do you know with this one? They're all
This guy in the middle.
Look at this chick's
the
eyes.
eyes. Yeah, it's just
The guy in the middle is not. He looks like a psychopath.
He does look like a psychopath. Also, that's not how you hold a gun. 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 Wow. Look, it's almost like if you took basic firearms training, you would know that this is a movie. That's real life.
Well, you know who they're coming after, right? Is all the the people who got the PPP loans or PPE loans or whatever. that demographic.
all the poor people trying to keep their businesses alive. That's who they're trying to come after.
What's CID?
I don't know. If you question it, they'll label you an anti-Semite. So
It's IRS CID. What the fuck is CID?
I have no idea.
Interesting. This is not, dude. And didn't they took down the post too, saying like we're doing this, but here they are.
You ever watch like the videos of MAJA's trainings? I mean, they're like badass. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got the simulations up there. I mean, it looks like, I mean, he's posted videos of people like doing just like close combat training around cars. I mean, it's like fucking badass. Like he's training people that could, that would own these IRS agents.
But that's
and it's
what
just
I'm
out of
saying.
self-defense.
That's what I'm saying is like we're getting to a point, and I don't know when that fucking point is in this fucking country where it's boiling though. Like if you're gonna start sending IRS agents to do SWAT raids on people's homes, eventually some guy's gonna be like, well, this is my last stand, and it's also gonna be yours. Like that's gonna
Can you
happen.
imagine any of those people go into the projects and be like, you did PPP fraud? Jamal, come out here with your hands up.
They'll hang them upside down from the balconies like fucking Suge Knight and Vanilla Ice, dude. Are you kidding me? Be like, give me your fucking vest. This is my vest now. I'm an IRS agent. No, it's wild. Like it's and here's you know like because you know all the conservatives are in outrage now, being like, look what they're doing, until they get in power, and then they won't dissolve that.
Yeah.
Right. So just
Well, they won't. Here's the thing. They'll just let it sit. They won't do
Right.
anything with it. Because, you know, it's the same shit that's going on with like Trump. You know, you're screaming, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. And basically, you know, Trump's being investigated for no different than Hillary having some emails on a private server. Republicans didn't do anything about it. The Democrats get in power. They're like, oh, yeah, let's go raid Melania's closet and see what we find.
Yeah. Well, they're all evil pedophiles. So
it's true.
it's going to happen. I don't know if you're aware. Yeah. I mean,
they're all progressives. They're not really conservative.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Fitzpatrick in our own state.
Look at the chicks pulling out their titties on the timeline. They're not really conservative.
Yeah, that's not conservative at all.
Oh shit.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I think there's I've been kind of preaching on the campaign thing about just like there's this false dichotomy, there's this false dialectic being pushed of like pitting, right versus left, red versus blue, individual versus community. And really it's just like it is everybody's just sucking off the tit of the state, and that's it. That's it.
It's
and supporting it.
The gays.
Yeah.
You see that Twitter account, the Gays Against Groomers?
I did see it and I ignored it because
is it still alive?
Yeah, no, they're well, yeah, because they're openly against the whole.
No, I think they got taken down because
groomers is a bad word. Yeah.
Yeah, Which again, how much again? It's not that we all get it, but just how much more evidence do you need that all this shit's is rigged when like rumor you'll get banned from? They won't ban actual pedophile accounts or like math accounts.
I want to
Like those-
invent a new slur that gets people banned.
Yeah, I think
all the good ones are taken.
James Lindsay gets a lot of credit for that whole OK groomer thing.
Oh,
And now, he's gone. He's gone now. Yeah, they banned it because of him, and he's gone.
There's a meme I use. It's the Reddit guy holding a trans, or I think it's a trans flag, and it says "OK Predator." PREDDITOR. Well, I don't know. I don't actually have no idea what flag it is, but he's holding like one of the flags. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. They all look alike. The map one looks like the fucking. I don't know. He's holding a flag though, but Predator is a good term. Which,
if you're on Reddit, you should be on a watch list somewhere.
Hey, I'm on Reddit. That's where I get all my fucking alien news from, bro.
We know what you're doing on there.
Yeah, looking up aliens and little kids. What you do on Reddit?
And cheetah videos.
Oh, that's all. That's in my memory bank.
That's all.
No, that's up here. That's like my game footage. It's like training footage from the day I kill that cheetah, bro. I'm telling you, no one believes me. You guys are gonna make me kill a cheetah, and that blood's gonna be on your guys' hands. You're just not believing me. Now I'm gonna kill an endangered species. Are they even endangered?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. This is not libertarian at all, but do you guys ever feel like nature is just dropping new content on us like a DLC pack all the time? I followed National Geographic's account on Instagram, and they were like, "Oh, it's the time of the year in this part of the world for this type of bug." And I was like, "I'm 35 years old, and I'm super into animals, as we all know. I've never fucking heard or seen this bug in my life." And they were talking about it like it's the most fascinating thing in that region. And I'm like, I think we're in a new reality. I think we switched over at some point because that bug never, and they do it all the time. They'd be like, this lizard. I'm like, that lizard never existed. Like, what are we talking about? You guys ever noticed that shit?
I thought they would be talking about climate change and its effects on African titty shapes or something.
That might be coming.
Why climate change, or the other thing that I saw this week is why climate change has contributed to the obesity crisis. You know, not that parents aren't sending their kids outside because they just want to keep their kids in front of a screen, but no, it's climate change that's keeping the kids inside and keeping them fat.
Dude, I used to be like, if I stayed inside too long, I was like forced to go outside and like play a sport.
Yeah,
like something.
My parents would send me outside and lock the door. And say, don't come in. I got in trouble one time because I came in the house. I was supposed to go have a sleepover at a friend's house, and it got canceled because I came inside before I was supposed to, and my mom was pissed. So
anytime I was in the house for too long, me and my brother would break out into a bare knuckle boxing match. So. That's just
there really is something to like playing sports and shit growing up and keeping like young dudes out of trouble.
Yeah,
because like what else are you doing? Like nothing. Like if you're not playing sports, like. Or doing something like you're just dicking around. Like there's something to that for sure. But yeah, this new generation is fucking like all they do is just everything's online. Like everything. Like VR. Like they'll do like VR chat rooms.
Ugh.
That's what we're doing right now. Yeah,
you're kind of right.
Yeah. but I'd still like much prefer like hanging out with people face to face. Like it's, you know, I'm kind of sick of this whole Zoom thing. I'm sick of Zoom meetings. I'm sick of doing it for work. You know, it's just so nice to get around people and just actually, you know, share a meal, share a laugh, those sorts of things. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah. The terminally online people, libertarians especially, struggle with that in real life thing a lot.
Yeah.
I think the pendulum is kind of swinging though. I mean, a lot of the younger people, did you see that article that came out yesterday or a couple days ago about the new popular club in New York is the Catholic Church? Like all these people are like become so fragmented now they're like starving for like some type of culture and community.
Really
makes sense. Let's hope they're over 18.
So yeah. So essentially this is saying like a bunch of young people now are just going to like church again just to like feel something.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that is interesting. I also though do notice like as much again, I think it's that silent minority, or that not silent, the vocal minority, like especially in the younger generation, right? Where you see a lot of them are super woke, super whatever. But then if you follow the right accounts on Twitter or TikTok, whatever, and like you'll see like young kids being like, yeah, this shit's fucking whack.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't fuck with this. Like, we don't fuck with this shit. Like, it's just that we get shouted down if we talk about it. But like, a lot of them are like, no, I don't subscribe to this nonsense.
Dude, most of the young people in the Liberty movement are younger than us. I mean, you see some of the people in like the Mises caucus chats. I mean, you got guys like Morgan and the two Bens and those guys. I mean, they're freaking based as hell, and they're, in college or just out of college. Yeah,
but that's good. We need.
Yeah.
So I know there's like that thing of like outbreed the left, like a term that like a lot of guys are saying. It's like and it's like cool, but then isn't there like teenage rebellion? So like wouldn't they fight just our values?
Teenagers are always going to be dickheads. That's always the case.
I don't know. I think they're going to be rebellious, but you can still instill certain values into them over time. I mean, there's a reason that kids that are dickheads but still stay out of jail, like they got a job and a place to live and a car once they grow up, get out of school. So
yeah, it's true, because like a lot of that comes back to like when you're older and then you reflect, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. Like especially as I get older at 35, I so many things I look back on when I was a kid, I was like, oh, that's when my dad said that. Like totally.
Yeah, uprooting the left is a great strategy.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They're like,
just not with e-thots.
It's like oh, we're gonna stop having sex, and men are like, we're gonna get vasectomies and allies cool. With it's like,
please do be my guest. I'm not gonna pay for it, and I don't want my tax dollars paying for it, but please do it.
Yeah, go for it. I don't want any more weak bullshit in this fucking gene pool we have.
Well, I think what you were saying about young people too not fucking with it just goes to show like how out of touch these like institutions are. You know what I mean? So like if they're rejecting it, they would probably still make fun of us, but they would be more likely to be like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't care. Everything's racist. Peanut butter and jelly is racist. So
right. I play fucking NHL on Xbox with two friends of mine, and one of them, he's like 22, 23, and he's pretty fucking like, like he gets it. Like he's not like this lefty leaning kid at all. He's like, yeah, he's like, no, he's like he'll send me articles like, oh, did you see this? Like, yeah, like this guy's fucking crazy, whatever. Like, so he like, and I asked him, I was like, cause like I think he's still in college. I think he's like finishing out like his 5th year or whatever, or whatever. And I was like, how do you like your friends feel about all this shit? And they're like, no, a lot of them feel the same way. They're like, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. Like, we don't give a fuck about all this.
Well, at least the dudes, like the chicks are like, they got them by the fucking by the heartstrings because they all do this emotional manipulation psyop shit. But I don't know. I've done a pretty good job of alienating myself from all the retards in my life. So I don't have to deal with it. Dude, I say what I want, do what I want.
Yeah, well, it's a lot easier for you, especially like I'm in comedy and I'm just around that. I got to listen to fucking dummies talk in like green rooms about, what I think. I go, fucking shut up. You don't know shit. You don't know fucking shit. Sometimes like I keep my mouth shut most because it's not worth it, right? It's just not worth the art. It's just not worth it. It's just me arguing against 3 idiots. And I'll be like, do you ever read anything about a book about economics? And they're like, no. I was like, all right. It's not worth it because they're just going to argue the CNN talking points, right? And then you could hit them with all the facts in the world, and they'll just be like, but racism. You're like, you're right. You're right.
I like watching like the woke comedians. You can see like
them not sell tickets. Yeah,
that too. Like I feel like I've clowned on some comedians from my hometown for like not being successful in a time when it's so easy to be a successful comedian. I feel like it's so easy to be on the edge. Like I see the gears turning in the like woke comedian's head. They're like, I want to say something on the edge, but I'm about to play it safe. I'm like, okay. No,
dude, as lame as the go woke, go broke saying is, there's something behind that. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I truly do believe that.
Like, just be funny. Like, people will come if you're funny.
Oh
but
no,
you're
I
not
mean,
being funny. So
there are comics out there who were funny, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm all woke," and then you just see all their work go away, and like, because it was like, "Well, I don't trust working with you," so
yeah.
because I was not worth it to get through,
Why would
like,
you pull punches if you're doing stand-up comedy? Like that to me is
Like-
antithetical to what comedy is supposed to be.
like that's the thing is like, agree, and like Torren seen me do stand up a bunch of times, and like so it's like that's not my stand up material. Like that's like I'm not going in thinking like I'm gonna do, because that's not my train of thought. If it was, I would, right? I would have no problem saying shit like that. It's just not what. Which obviously I think is fine. Like you don't have to talk about fucking anything edgy if you don't want to be a comic. But if you're purposefully withholding, not because then you're a fucking cuck, and you shouldn't be doing comedy. I agree.
And I'm sure you've probably seen those people. Like
I know those people.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So I see them on Instagram sometimes, like floating through my feed. I'm just like, it's just kind of funny to like watch their head, like see the gears turn. Like I'm about to say something. I want to say something else, but let me restrain. Like that's not comedy to me. That's just like you being gay.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you, you guys in the group chat the other day where I was like, this very, I said, oxymoron, unfunny female comic. A few years ago, I made an Anne Frank joke. Neil and I on Cult of Us made actually, it wasn't even Cult of Us at the time. It was different. We were going by a different name. We're making Anne Frank jokes because the whole, and this is why these fucking idiots, especially like self-proclaimed comics who are progressive, like you guys don't understand like sarcasm or like scope of like humor. I'm like, the whole bit idea was we were saying what do you think Anne Frank would have done if she survived? Like, what job would she have done? And we said she probably would have been a young adult author and started writing like romance novels about vampires and shit. So we started joking.
Well, first she would have had to have existed. So.
You're gonna fucking say that.
Sorry, YouTube.
No, that's funny. I'm comic first, everything else second. No, but like we were just cracking dumb jokes about that shit, and then she saw and here's the funnier part.
What if she would have been like an interior decorator who specialized in attics?
She's like, plenty of room, super quiet. Never be found up here. You can get sandwiches up here super easy.
A bench seat by the window.
You'll be right above the fucking toilet and bathroom and the kitchen. So you could easily go down.
Super quiet.
So quiet. We'll sound the fuck out of this thing. Okay. Satellite phone in case you got to get out real quick.
Well, the whole thing again, it's emasculated. It's completely emasculated. I mean, they can't even make funny jokes about their shit. I mean, I'm sure the three of us or more people in the Liberty movement could sit around and actually make hilarious jokes that are slightly offensive that actually push their leftist talking points if we wanted to. I mean, there's a lot of spoof accounts against the Lolberts that are actually funny. They're making their points and it's funny.
Really funny.
But they can't. The left can't do it. They can't.
No,
they can't
the
meme.
left
They
can't
can't
meme,
joke.
true.
They can't make a serious point.
You're
Nothing.
Right. They can't do shit. They don't understand like brevity. they just have to write novellas. And it's like, dude, and it's funny because like life imitates art, right? There's a meme I have where it's like a Chad guy being like, I'm not gonna read all that. And then the under it, the Lolbert's like, ha ha ha, chuds can't read. And then the Chad guy responds back with the I'm not reading all that shit meme. And then the Lolbert responds back with like a giant paragraph again. That really happened in a Twitter exchange. That exact thing happened in a Twitter exchange. And then I put that meme there. Like, this is Twitter. This is the thread. This is the thread. Exactly. So with the Anne Frank thing, again, because all they want to do is outrage. They don't care about context or anything. So we were making by the way, we cut the clip of that, put it out ourselves. She claimed she found it. Like she did. I'm like, oh, the thing we put out on our own. Yeah. What about it? She reaches out to Neil, not me. She reaches out to Neil because Neil does a podcast with me. And she She goes, "Are you going to continue having this show on your network?" This is how dumb she was. She thought Neil was like my boss, and like my podcast was like on his network. He's my co-host on a network we co-own together. She's so dumb, and these people don't do any research. She didn't even know that much, like that we just do the show together. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they don't care about anything.
You gotta get them to promote it. Be like, you should really write a tweet. I don't run the podcast, but you should. I don't run the network, but you should tweet at whoever runs the network and get everyone you know to retweet it.
Yes. So Neil wrote back, no. Because I do the show with him, so I'm probably not going to stop doing it.
No, I think they should definitely be gaslit and manipulated.
Well, so here's the funny part, because no one cares, right?
Speaking
Truly,
of Anne Frank.
I mean, like no one cares about that. Yeah, but no one cares about what she thinks. Because this is what happened. She just then went on a tirade into her own circles, right, and shit on me, and then got a bunch of validation from a bunch of people who already didn't like me. And then they shit on me in their own circles together that no one else could see because everyone else was blocked from their own circle. So nothing happened. like that's what I'm saying. If you don't care or make it think, like I literally went, okay, cool, I don't care. And then I had this bunch of other comics text me being like, yo, that shit was hilarious. Who gives a fuck? I go, oh no, I don't even know what's happening because I truly don't care. Like if you just block it out and pretend it doesn't exist because it doesn't exist, it's not real.
I'm all about pretending to care to get them to do promotion for you for free.
Well, this is also like before like
that's just me being an autist though.
No, you're not wrong, dude. That's actually a good idea. This is like before we were like really involved. This is like years ago. This is like before we were really involved in Twitter and like we weren't as far along as we are now. Is that truthfully? So like we just didn't have the foresight or like the wherewithal to like take it. Now that happened to us, oh my god, dude. Yeah, we parlayed that into a fucking 40,000 subscriber fucking.
We're so sorry this is happening. Please write us. Please make a public statement and call this out, and we'll make sure to get it set up the chain.
Dude, the annoying part is now on Cult of Us, I'll say crazy shit on purpose, and nothing happens, and we have way more viewers than we had back then. Like it's annoying. I'm like, someone say something now. I know what I'm doing now. Now I can spin this to an angle where I'll get viewers out of this. You fuck, and no one's doing it. It's annoying.
What
that is the way to do it. I'm sorry, guys.
What off topic, but what like libertarian stuff is going on in Pennsylvania? Like LPPA stuff is coming up.
We're being challenged right now. Caroline Avery's running against Brian Fitzpatrick, who
I have no idea.
So he's a Republican who voted for red flag laws and anti-2A stuff, and like he's been in this part of PA forever because completely runs unopposed. Or he does run opposed from some weak Democrat who but Caroline Avery, who actually is in my actual county, Bucks County, like she's actually like running through us. She's a big gun person. So here's her knock, and I'm gonna have her on. So I'll say, and she knows how I feel. She was a former Trump person, and then when Trump lost, she was like, "Oh, everything's rigged." And then she came over to run. She ran under the R ticket a few years ago. But now she's running under the L ticket. But she's good on this. I'll tell you, she's really good on gun stuff. Like she wants zero laws on guns. And the gun owners of America backed her, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
So because they backed her and Fitzpatrick guys knew that's when they went, oh shit, this is a real threat. And they tried suing her off the ballot saying her signatures were bullshit. They had a court case today, and I'm pretty sure it went our way. I think the judge is going to rule in our favor. Because it wasn't on signatures, it was the sore loser law. Because she ran as an R, so they're like, oh, you can't run as a different thing, and then run as a different thing the next time. The judge was like, no, I'm pretty sure he threw it out. So now I think we're good, and she's gonna run against Fitzpatrick, I think. But that's like legitimately like a big deal because that guy's fucking total garbage.
Yeah, I love garbage.
You like taking out the trash, right?
I could swim in it.
Yeah.
And I do on a daily basis.
But I think that's the biggest, right? Local, you say?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing going on right now. I'm gonna have Yeah, I think I'm going to have her on the show too. Anthony, you need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring
You need to get
Anthony
to. You need to.
I think
you
it's
need-
worth it to reach out and try to coalition build with some of them and maybe give them the foundation they were lacking. You know, I think Trump in a lot of ways pulled back the curtain for people who were already headed that way and really just exposed a lot of stuff. But, you know, if you give them a foundation, you know, economics or maybe a better understanding of like what's going on culturally as far as, you know, don't be small government, be anti-government.
Right.
You know? There's a reason you want to be small government is because you know what the government does. So let's actually do that, you know?
No, I agree. And that's the thing with Caroline is like, again, she's a former R coming over to L, and she's not like she grew up reading fucking Mises and Rothbard and Soul and fucking and Hazlitt. So she doesn't get all but she's good on the gun stuff. And you know, I was kind of grilling her the other day, and I was like, well, what about drugs with your, and she's like, well, I don't care about weed and stuff. I was like, okay. And I was like, what about that stuff? She's like, well, I think psychedelics is, you know, so now we have to learn a little more on. And she's like, I'm like, well, what about, let's say, heroin? Let's just do it for the hard one, you know? She's like, oh no, I would completely throw the police behind. I was like, stop. We're gonna have a conversation before, you know, because I'm like, no, you're not getting it. I'm not saying we should do heroin. I'm like, I'm just saying we shouldn't use the state to go after.
You can ban it in your house. How about that?
Right. Yeah. And that's that's her issue. Is like she doesn't get all of it, but she gets most, or at least a lot of it, more so than other people. So hey,
and I understand that like knee-jerk reaction, especially with looking at some of the progressive cities that have done the needle exchanges, and they just do it horribly wrong. Like
Oregon, any city in Oregon.
Yeah, their take on the drug war is to just supply more drugs to junkies. It's not really helping the problem. So
right. And they're just honest about it too, how they go about it, right? Like again, they love science when it benefits them, but not ever any other time. like the Portugal experiment, right? Where they had because like 15% of their population was like hooked on heroin, which is a lot for like a population of like 15 million people, right? Like if you have like 1.5% or 15% of your population hooked on, that's what, like a few million people at least, right? Like a lot. Like I don't know, I'm not gonna math, but so they're like, they had some of the harshest drug laws like in the world. Like, you know, they like go to prison for like 30 years. They're trying to stop it because it's so bad. And then some science came along like, hey, we're gonna run an experiment because this shit ain't working. Because you know, the experiment was they took 2 lab rats, and they put them in cages, separate cages, and they laced their water with cocaine or amphetamines or something like that, like an addictive property. And in one cage, it was empty. They had nothing in the cage but that water bottle. And the other cage, they had that water bottle, but also with like toys and a wheel and a bunch of shit to do, like a maze puzzle, right? They both got hooked on it. The rat without anything to do, he died almost instantly because all he would do is hit that fucking bottle. The other rat would hit the bottle and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna run on this ball for a while. And like, and then like he had a purpose. Then you come back, he's like, oh, I'm thirsty. This cocaine's also cool. And he hit the bottle. So he was addicted, but he was thriving because he had shit to do. No, so they went, hey, hear me out. How about no jail for drugs, unless it's a violent offense? But I'm saying like, all non-violent drug crimes, they were like no jail, actual rehab, not jail rehab, like real rehab. And I think, and this is, as libertarians will be like, no, but this is what I'm telling you what they did. I think they made a deal with like the government. If like, you're a corporation and you hire like an ex-drug addict or whatever the fuck, or like an ex-person with a drug, the government would pay half their salary for like 3 years or something like that. Which is a good deal. I mean, as a person, and then of course, everything like changed. Like you started seeing everything rise to the good. And it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah. And I try to tell conservatives too. It's like, you don't like the cartels, do you? Because, you know, if you're wanting to pursue the drug war further, all you're doing is emboldening and enriching the cartels. Mm-hmm. They love the black market.
Right. And that's, I don't know if you guys saw the launch on like the cartel attacks over the weekend.
No, I heard a little bit about that today. What was going on with it?
I don't know. I think that they have people, the government in Mexico has people they want back, like cartel members, and they're just like, we don't want to hurt innocent people, but like we're going to. So they're like, they're like between this time and this time in this area, we're gonna kill anybody who's out there. So heads up. And they did. They just started firebombing buses and shit, and like right on Tijuana, like right by the border and stuff like that, and like a few other places. But it's all on the West Coast, it's down on the East. So yeah, it's crazy. But it all emboldens that, which we all know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be one of the biggest sticking points I'm going to have probably with conservatives in the area when I'm campaigning is the stuff on drugs. I mean, particularly psychedelics. I mean, I'm not going to speak too much to the fentanyl and the heroin. I mean, I know people have those questions, but I mean, it's like, yeah, the psychedelics. Yeah, if you're just going to be popping, mushrooms nonstop, you're going to be a useless human being.
Yeah.
But if you're,
you got to show up with an American flag shirt with a bald eagle on the front and say, "I hate the cartels more than you do, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, I actually, I'm not going to reveal it right now, but I have a way that I think we can get the conservatives on board with the psychedelics, but we'll see.
Tell them they get turned to Dr. Manhattan. And they tell a bunch of psychedelics.
But it's like, it's like both sides. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's left or right, I mean, they want to utilize the state for their own ends. When the right one wants to legislate their own morality, the left wants to legislate whatever the hell
their own morality,
whatever that morality is. But it's just all this whole thing of where they're it's like what they're doing is they're stripping away sovereignty. They're stripping away the sovereignty of the individual. They're stripping away the sovereignty of the community, the city, the state, the nation. And eventually, there is nothing left and nobody's really in control. Everybody's just hung out to dry. But I mean, the big thing that I'm trying to push is like, okay, if I'm a free, healthy, sovereign individual, I'm going to take care of myself. And I'm also going to try to be responsible and take care of the people around me too. Like the more people are actually free and sovereign and healthy in that sense, the more you get your neighborhoods cleaned up. The more free, healthy, sovereign people there are in Philly, the less needles there are going to be in Kensington.
Well,
but
it starts with the family.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people didn't have dads who would mow their neighbor's grass just out of the kindness of their heart. I got a little extra gas, my mower's running, let me come over there and mow it for you. Like my dad did that shit all the time. You know what I mean? Let me come fix your fence, help you fix your fence post or whatever. Like that type of shit. People don't do that anymore because no dads are in the home anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty obvious ploy by the new agenda, right? Is like destroy the nuclear family.
Well, they don't want the moms in the home either. They want the moms out working, and they want your kids being, raised in schools by raging leftists.
Well, again, I mean, how many companies are like, we'll pay for your abortion because it's $4,000 is a one-time fee. Yeah. But childcare costs a long time for companies. So what costs? Kill that baby.
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna.
You're
do that.
poor. That baby's gonna grow up to be depressed, and you don't want that.
You got some sports guys. Royce,
Royce
basketball player. Yes, he was just on a tear. I saw him on a clip the other day, being like, 35 million black babies never had a chance to be born. Because liberal white women pushed it. And I was like, yes. I was like, yes, he's right. He's 100% right. He's like liberal white woman. And he nailed it. That's exactly what he didn't say like progressive. He said liberal white woman destroyed the future for black babies. I was like,
awful woman. Was affluent white feminist.
Yep. It's disgusting.
Female leftists.
Fucking disgusting. They fucking disgust me. They really fucking do. They really fucking disgust me to my core. Like that group of person.
That was all those IRS agents we just saw.
Yes,
that one brown guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's all the fucking limp-wristed fucking douchey men.
It's all the teachers that are forcing kids to mask in Philly schools, which we're the only school district in the country that's going to be requiring masks. In pre-K, so less than younger than kindergarten, are required to permanently wear masks until at least 2023. It's insidious. It's disgusting. It's fucking gross.
Yeah, as anybody who's ever seen me do comedy or knows me, my wife's a Catholic school teacher, and her whole thing when they had she doesn't have to wear a mask anymore, but like when they did, she was like, she also teaches high school, but she was like, like the kids would like look at my facial expressions and like also understand what I'm saying through that too. It's like a whole way of like human being
body language is important.
Pattern, yeah. It's like, and because when you're just seeing this shit. I have no expression or fucking. You don't know how I feel under here. I could be mad. I could be anything. It's like you don't know. It's such a.
Maybe they'll all become autistic libertarians in the future, and we'll be
maybe.
I don't know.
Man, hopefully there's some like civil disobedience on the rise. Like I wouldn't put my kid in school if she had to wear a mask. Like it just wouldn't happen. She's starting her first day of kindergarten yesterday, and thankfully I'm in a place where it doesn't have mask mandates. But when she was in daycare, I specifically sought out a place that didn't make the kids wear masks because there was a lot of them, even in a red state.
Yeah.
Daycares that made kids wear masks. I was like, we're not doing that. And
no, it's disgusting.
I felt so bad putting a mask on her to ride on a plane. Like it made me feel like shit. Mm-hmm. But I hadn't seen my family in a year and a half. I was like, we got to see grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
We don't. Sometimes rules are dumb, but we're not going to break them right now. We'll break them somewhere else down the line.
Well, it's like the biggest argument against like school choice is, well, that will defund the public schools. And the easiest rebuttal is, well, why would you say that? Why, if you give people an option to take their money elsewhere, would they take it away from public schools? Because they're shit.
Yeah.
They know
is there any like libertarian or like single issue lobbying groups in Pennsylvania?
Hey, people in the chat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am the Issues Coalition, the chair of the Issues Coalition Committee for the LPPA. So, if you know of any single issue lobbying libertarian type groups in PA, let us know. But there's
I know
tons of
one in Tennessee. Tennessee is called like TN for All, and that TN and the number 4 all, and I don't know if it's .com or .org. But they are more libertarian, but they go out and do single issue lobbying and, you know, what do you want to see in your neighborhood type stuff. And they go out and knock on doors and it seems to be doing pretty well from what I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm connected to a lot of different groups here in Philly. I got connected to Children's Health Defense. There's a Pennsylvania chapter that's pretty active here. There's a bunch of like just single issue type people, whether it be health, freedom. Yeah, there's Defend the Guard. That's a huge one. Decriminalize Nature. We've kind of tried to get involved with them a little bit.
How about the psychedelic people in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, the Psychedelic Club of Pittsburgh. I mean, like what we want to do is get Decrim Nature connected to Psychedelic Club of Pittsburgh. And then I know this one guy who's connected to Decrim Nature. He runs something called the Balanced Veterans Network that's basically trying to help treat veterans with PTSD through plants. So yeah, there's a lot of groups, and that's something we're really trying to focus on here in this next year. And even in my mayor run, I think we're going to try to do a lot of work with single issue groups and just say, hey, we're going to push your message. Nobody else will. They'll tell us, the Democrats, you go talk to the Democrats in City Hall. They have no idea what psychedelics do or what they're actually for. They have no fucking clue. In fact, the only person in the PA like state legislator that's pushing psychedelic research is a Republican of all things, which is shocking. So yeah, we've got a huge opportunity, and we're trying to build out the infrastructure as a party and then as other, just individuals and candidates to be able to connect with these groups and make positive change in our community.
That's cool.
Yeah, hopefully we could actually make it fun. Because that's the thing too, is like, hey man, president, all that shit, it don't matter. Like if we could just get shit set in like locally in PA, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in any political party and don't do anything political other than talk shit to people on the internet. But getting the ball rolling, I guess, would be the hardest part. Once you just put one foot in front of the next and just kind of see where things go. But I think it's good to be involved locally, especially with politics. It's a lot better than trying to be involved nationally.
Yeah, and we're actually, I think the LPPA is actually doing stuff now. When I had people in leadership of the LPPA, well, maybe not specifically people that were in leadership at the time, but people who had a fairly substantial voice. They were shitting on Don't Tread on Philly because of us fighting the mandates. Like LPPA did nothing. Nothing at all.
They were all Loberts and fucking lefty. You had Waldenberger and fucking Jen Moore and fucking Kevin Gahagan, who's an actual Republican. I mean, you actually have like all these people who were Magoon, all these fucking fat losers who are fucking actively against freedom and shit. And you're like, yeah, you're fat. Have you tried losing weight and not making fucking vaccines have to be a thing? Like, no, you haven't. Weird. Oh, it's a thyroid problem. Okay. Yeah. It's like
that damn thyroid.
I'm glad. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Andy, but like they all formed their own party in PA. So all those people in PA left.
Tight.
So they all promised they wouldn't leave if they lost. They lost. They left and they formed their own party called the Keystone Party.
Good for them. They're relegated to the sewers.
And their mascot's an owl.
Yeah. There's also the mascot of pedophiles. Just saying.
I've seen that somewhere in some kind of grove.
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian, maybe. I don't know. Weird Malik, I think was his name.
Yeah, something like that.
But they did get some people on the ballot though in PA.
Barely.
Barely, yeah.
They had to pay. Kevin's daddy had to pay people to do it. So
Kevin's daddy had to pay.
Y'all had to compete with them as the who's going to be the third party to win out.
No, it won't be them.
Well, I don't think that. I think that's it. I mean, I think we're done trying to compete. I mean, my big thing is like, okay, so they want a bigger piece of some ratty, moldy pie that's been sitting out on a window forever, and we want something new. I mean, this fucking political pie that we're supposed to be going after and making waves in is a piece of shit. Like, we don't want any of that. We want something new. We want to change the culture. We want to make people free. Internally, externally, individually, as communities. We don't want to just see some sort of nebulous liberty in our lifetimes.
Andy, you're critical about like the LP a lot. Like, what do you think about the new LP Twitter? Do you think they're doing better?
It's definitely better than it was. I didn't really understand them like wanting to take a jab at Republicans for like hating the FBI. They should be like, yeah, we hate the FBI. That's good that you hate the FBI too.
We were talking about that also in the group chat.
Like, you can say,
agreed. I was like, right, why would you do that? Yeah, I agree.
There is some good irony, to be had that Trump could have abolished the FBI or whatever. But if that's what it takes is Trump to get rated for people to start saying, oh, we should abolish or defund the FBI, then that's what it took for him. Not everybody is on that wavelength. They're not all going to be as well versed or understand the nuance of liberty. So
no,
I think you got to acknowledge who butters your bread sometimes. Like the right, you're going to be able to get more influence on the right, or people coming from the right to libertarians who are like disaffected. Like, yeah, they are progressives driving the speed limit. They don't do anything. This guy wants red flag laws. Like, this is gay. Give me the real shit.
You're right.
Well, and you should be like, welcome with open arms. Like, yeah, here's the real shit.
That is the annoying part about the right, though, right? Is it always takes it too long for them to get it, and by that point, it's too fucking late. So they're like, oh, the FBI's bad. We're like, yeah.
They've been bad since they were born. It's terrible.
It's like, but that's my point. It's like, when did they get indoctrinated? In the 40s? 50s? How long? 50, 70, 80 goddamn years? I mean, how many years until the right's like, actually, guys, you know what? I think they're corrupt. We're like,
where you been this whole time?
Yeah, bro. War's bad also. I don't know if you knew that too. It's like, so it's like, yes, it's good that they got it, but it's always past the point. So we're always sitting here like with our thumb up our ass because they're never gonna get it. They're never going to get it.
I think there's elements to the populist right and like even like that are good. Like there's people like Tucker Carlson who's been pretty good on war the past few years, and a lot of people on the right are just like, yeah, you call me racist, I don't care. Like, I'm done with it. Like all they need is like a foundation of somebody who's going to be like, okay, I know that Trump was your guy, but check this shit out. Like, we got some actual shit over here. Like, we have economic principles and a foundation for you that's not just like rhetoric.
Yeah. Where do you think we'll end on this with both of you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think the LP national makes a real push or real waves in 2024 presidency / big picture, like anything big, like presidency, bigger stuff like senators, shit like that, like the bigger stuff, not like local shit?
I'm gonna say, I think if they stir up controversy in the right way, then yes. But I'm also like, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not that optimistic about it just because they are a third party, like underdog, and people want to pick winners. But I do respect the vision, but I wouldn't like get my hopes up and be like, our guy is going to be the president next time around. Like, don't sell that false hope to people. Just be like, hey, we're going to tell you what's really going on, and we're going to push these people's buttons as hard as we can. That, to me, should be the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd say the same thing, and that's what I'm trying to do in Philly. Is, I mean, my whole thing is you don't need 51% to make a movement. You need a loud minority. Well organized minority beats a shitty, complacent majority every single time. And so, my goal with my campaign's not necessarily to win. It's to build culture. It's to plant seeds. And then hopefully 2024, if we have a solid candidate like a Dave Smith or even a Spike Cohen or, someone who is well-spoken, who's a charismatic individual, I think those seeds could start to grow a little bit in 2024. And, at the end of the day, if you don't change the culture, the LP has no shot. But if you plant some seeds,
shooting for every local news outlet to be writing smear pieces on you.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. And it's starting. I mean, I had a very local paper in my neighborhood write a smear piece on me in my group already. Like,
if they're not calling you racist, sexist, homophobe, you're doing something wrong. So,
and it's starting with the LP.
I think who wrote the article? The SCLP, whatever the fuck they're called. Southern Low Poverty, SLPC, the Southern Low Poverty Center. They wrote the article about the Mises and
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Whatever. Yeah. SPLC. Yeah. That was big. I was like, all right, there we go.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah. You need a lot more of that. You need the New York Times to be calling you racist every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think now's the time. I mean, I don't think, I don't think anybody could realistically say, hey, we're going to win something. We're going to take over Washington. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of us are anarchists too. So it's like, is taking over Washington even the end goal? Like, right. No, the end goal is changing the culture, breeding a culture of liberty, of sovereignty, and trying to wrest the power away from the assholes in charge. And, I think, the FBI raid, the fact that Biden might not even be alive in 2 years, it's just shit's so up in the air and it's just so fucked up that if there's ever a time for something crazy to happen and for us to get our message out there, now's that time. We just have to execute.
Did you guys see that video of Biden today with the pan? Just like fucking like,
yeah, I saw it right before I got on.
Dude, he's gonna die.
Yeah, he's showing signs of like whenever they don't have him on the right amphetamines, he's showing signs of not.
Well, he's had multiple brain aneurysms. Like his brain is held in place by like a paperclip and a toothpick. So and that's been like years.
And again, it's like that's again we all know, but it's like Trump's not like in shape, but he's like not losing his mind. Like, but and they would go after him. The media like we should impeach him for his health. It's like this guy's legitimately going dementia in front of us, and you guys are quiet because you're fucking scumbag liars.
even all my homies that are like modal like liberals or like just checked out of politics, but they still like take on some of that pop culture liberalism shit. Even they know they're like, yeah, this guy's not here. He's not running anything. Like he's just a corpse. Like that's all it is.
Yeah, he's a marionette puppet. Jesus Christ. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. If you please give your plugs on the way out of here. Torren, leave with you.
Yeah, so check me out on Twitter at Don't Tread Philly. Don't Tread on Philly on Instagram. Don'tTreadOnPhilly.com will get you to all the links. But then also, yeah, I'm running for mayor in Philly in 2023. I've got a website officially up, tdphilly.com, but it's just a placeholder right now where you can just send an email. We've got a website team as we speak working on it. But if you want any info or want to be involved in the campaign, just email me, email our team at info@tdphilly.com. So yeah, that's it.
I nominate Andy for social media coordinator. Andy.
Well, I wanted to ask y'all before I left about ECW, because that's my only real point of reference for Philly culture.
ECW, sir, was so obviously I'm Staten Island trash wearing the hat. ECW was big on Staten Island too. That's how much it goes back. So ECW before was even like bigger than it was. There was this place called Jesus Christ, sports. Oh my God, I can't think of it now. My brain trauma is crazy. It's not important. There's a place in Staten Island. It was like this big sports complex thing, and they would have the ECW matches in there. And I used to go there when I was like 13 years old, and watch Sandman fucking jump off of like 2 stories.
Let's go.
Fly through 14 tables for $20 probably at the time.
Hell yeah.
No, ECW is the shit. I fucking love ECW.
Hell yeah. Well, if you want to follow me, open your baby mama's diary, open your girlfriend's diary. I'll be in there somewhere. She'll be writing about me. So that's where you can follow me.
Boom. You guys know you can follow me at Adam Nutter on all this stuff. Again, go follow Cult of Us podcast. I do with the great Neil Wood. Drop10.com for all ticket /events for all ticket information and upcoming shows and all that great stuff. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. I think I'll be back next week with Andy Coons and Brian McWilliams. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So check that episode out. Gentlemen, peace. Everybody else, later.
Thanks for listening. Find Adam on social media, Twitter and IG at Adam Nutter, or Facebook and TikTok at Adam Nutter Comedy. And for podcasts and merch, check out www.droptent.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
This has been a Drop Tent Media Production.